I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Advent Health is expanding in Palm Coast. The hospital is adding a 7th operating room at a cost of $850,000. They say the extra operating room is much needed since the hospital is already running at full capacity and emergencies can present a challenge. The hospital says as many as 10,000 surgeries were performed at the site last year. Plus, growth is projected in the county, so they want to be able to meet the community's needs. As they take those needs into consideration, a hospital spokeswoman says a maternity ward isn't part of their current plans. They say the county's demographics right now don't support adding an obstetrics department.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Delta Airlines nonstop to Atlanta, and now nonstop service to New York City via American Airlines.
A proposal to build a next-generation medical hub in Palm Coast gets a preliminary thumbs up, John Arking reports.
A plan put forward by the University of North Florida to construct a hub for healthcare-related education in Palm Coast Town Center Innovation District received an initial approval by the Florida Board of Governors Strategic Planning Committee during their meeting last week. The Jacksonville-based school, in partnership with the City of Palm Coast, Flagler Schools, and Advent Health Palm Coast, wants to build UNF MedNext, which they describe as a way to consolidate healthcare disciplines, technology development, research, and analytics into a collaborative hub of educational learning, development, and placement of students, as well as a hub of scholarly and technological advance in the healthcare fields for Northeast Florida and the state. The Board of Governors oversees the state's universities, and its Strategic Planning Committee gave unanimous approval to the $12 million funding request. It now goes before the full Board of Governors this week for their approval. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Erking.
Erosion control is the subject of a public meeting later this month. With more, here's Tony Magoo.
Flagler County will host a workshop followed by a public hearing on Tuesday, October 22nd, to address the creation of an erosion control line along the upcoming 2.8-mile Army Corps of Engineers project within the city limits of Flagler Beach. And with us is Julie Murphy, Flagler County Public Information Officer.
Truly intended for people who are within 1,000 feet of the Army Corps of Engineers. The upcoming project, the construction will begin May of 2020.
Where will this project be?
The 2.8 miles in between South 6th Street and South 28th Streets in the city of Flagler Beach.
State law requires the establishment of an erosion control line before the construction of a beach renourishment project.
They're using the mean high water line as it was surveyed in July, and this line kind of meanders a little bit, but it's an average of the high water level over a specific period of time.
The workshop and public hearing will be held from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Commission Chambers of the Government Services Building, 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
Do you need a job?
You could drive a school bus in Flagler County. Andy West from Flagler Schools Transportation says if you've had your operator's license and been driving a vehicle for at least 5 years, you can apply to be a school bus driver.
Go to flaglerschools.com and the transportation page, apply there, and we'll be happy to bring you on board. And training is paid for.
West said you do have to be at least 21 years old, but that there are great benefits. He said you'd start as a sub at just over $13 an hour, but when you make full-time, you'd make more money. Download the Flagler Radio app to listen to the entire interview. Go to the Free for All Friday podcast there. Tomorrow, meet a school bus driver. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.